Hey everyone, and welcome back to Rank and File Sports. I had to take a break for pretty much the whole season, ended up just running out of time to do YouTube. I had a partner in doing it, and unfortunately, he also wasn't able to do anything to help out with the channel, and I just couldn't quite do it all on my own. We're back for the playoffs. Hopefully, we'll get some more stuff done in the off season. The off season should look really similar to what it did last summer. So we'll get all the preseason predictions done and stuff, but we're back for the playoffs, so let's go ahead and take a look at this bracket and my predictions. Just my quick reaction to all the teams that are in the bracket really only came down to SMU and Alabama for that last spot. I do believe the committee got it right. Um, there's a lot of arguments to be made about how many top 25 wins Alabama had versus SMU, but at the end of the day, Alabama lost to two separate six-loss teams, and one of those was by 21 points. You can't do that. I don't feel bad for Alabama for getting left out. SMU was only a one-loss team before their conference championship. In my mind, that was a no-brainer to leave the Mustangs in. So getting into the predictions, we'll start off in the top left corner with Ohio State and Tennessee. In my mind, this is probably going to be the best game of the first round, and they saved it as the last game. Very much looking forward to this one. Should be a lot of high-powered offense here. In the end, home field advantage goes to the Buckeyes. There's a bit of a concern with Tennessee's rushing attack and their defensive line. But at the end of the day, I trust the Buckeyes defense to stop Tennessee's offense more than I trust Tennessee's defense to stop the Buckeyes. So I do like Ohio State to move on to the Rose Bowl to play Oregon. Next up is going to be Notre Dame and Indiana. That's another really, really good game. I do think that Notre Dame has a solid chance to make a run in this playoffs because of the Carson Beck injury. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame over Indiana. Uh, the Hoosiers are a good team. They got blown out in Columbus. I don't think it's gonna be quite a blowout here. They'll make it close, but I do like the Fighting Irish at home. With Penn State and SMU, this is another really intriguing matchup. I'm really torn on this one. SMU, they're going to be happy to be here. I think a lot of them thought that they were going to get left out in favor of Alabama. Did not happen. Penn State, on the other hand, just played a really great game against Oregon, and I think the Nittany Lions are going to keep it up. That same Penn State team will defend the home field against SMU. And then finally, we got Texas and Clemson. A lot of people are expecting this to be the worst out of the first round games. It would make sense. The 5-12 matchup naturally should be the most easily won game for the 5 seed. I think it's going to be a decent game for most of it, but I like Texas to pull out about a 10-point win over Clemson. So back up to the top of the bracket, we got Ohio State and Oregon. And I think this is going to be a really, really great matchup. A lot of people are writing off the Buckeyes because of the Michigan game, but if you look at the rest of the season, this is a really, really good team. I honestly think that there's a mental block there with Ryan Day and coaching against Michigan. But if you've watched any of the other games this year for the Buckeyes, you know this is a really solid team, and I actually do like them to get their revenge on Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Now, Georgia and Notre Dame is another really great matchup. If Carson Beck's playing, I think this will be a closer game, maybe even a Georgia win. But there's something about this Notre Dame team that I really do like. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame to advance to the semifinals over the Georgia Bulldogs. And now we'll hop back over to Texas and Arizona State. This one, I think a lot of people are just assuming Texas is going to win. I actually like the Sun Devils here. Cam Scatterbo played out of his mind in the Big 12 championship. He's been really solid all year. I think Arizona State's going to win a playoff game. And since the first one's against Texas, I really do think the Sun Devils are going to manage to pull off a massive upset over the Longhorns and advance to the Cotton Bowl. Now, final matchup of the quarterfinals, Penn State and Boise State. This should be a really good game. I could see this one being real low scoring, a lot of running the football, and Penn State, out of all these teams, has one of the better defensive lines, and I do think they're going to be able to slow down Ashton Jeanty to where Boise State is going to need to throw the football some to win this game. When it comes down to the two quarterbacks, Maddox Madsen's good. Drew Aller, I think, is a better quarterback. I like Penn State to maybe get out to a lead late and be able to hold on when Boise State can't just run the football anymore. So I do have Penn State advancing to the semifinals to play Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. All right, Ohio State and Arizona State. This is another tough matchup for the Buckeyes with a really solid running back. You had Dylan Sampson earlier with Tennessee, now Scatterbo for Arizona State. In the end, the Buckeyes just have way more talent than Arizona State, and I do think that they'll manage to win this game in the Cotton Bowl to move on to the national championship. Their opponent, either Notre Dame or Penn State, in the end, James Franklin really struggles when it comes to top 5 teams. Notre Dame's the 7 seed, but they are ranked in the top 5. I think this is where the Nittany Lions playoff run ends. Give me Notre Dame to the national championship game. So this bracket probably looks very different from what you've been seeing from a lot of other people. But I really think this is going to be a crazy playoff. Those are my final 4 teams: Ohio State, Arizona State, Notre Dame, and Penn State for the national championship between the Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish. I'm going to take Ohio State to win it. It'll be another really good game. In the end, the Buckeyes just have the better offense and the better defense. When it comes down to talent, I do believe Ohio State and Oregon are the 2 most talented teams in the country. The Buckeyes took out Oregon earlier in this bracket, so it makes sense for Ohio State to win this national championship. Ohio State really needs this national championship win, like I think they're going to get. It's going to be tough, but this will save Ryan Day's job, and he will be back coaching in 2025 in Columbus. That's my prediction. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down below. You can tell me how wrong I am, and I'm perfectly fine with you thinking that. We'll see how the playoffs turns out. If I am wrong, then oh well. But yeah, a few huge upsets that I don't think a lot of people are going to see coming. So I'm super excited for this playoff. We'll have to see how it all turns out. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how this first ever 12-team playoff turns out. So thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you again after the first round.